Bungie was just a small studio back in the 90s making fairly successful games. When they had finished Myth: The Fallen Lords, which was one of the many small titles they had published, Halo's development began, and it was one with radical changes. First being an RTS game, and then being presented as a third-person shooter, when the Steve Jobs revealed it at Macworld.
But this is one of the coolest I've ever seen. This game is going to ship early next year from Bungie, and this is the first time anybody has ever seen it. It's the first time they've debuted it. And so I'm very happy to welcome on the stage Jason Jones, who is the co-founder of Bungie and the Halo project lead. Halo is the name of this game, and we're going to see, for the first time, Halo. Welcome, Jason.
After the launch of Myth 2, Bungie was struggling financially because of the fun little fact that when you uninstalled it, the game said, "Oh, you want to remove me? Well, I think I'll take your fucking computer with me." Yeah, Myth 2 had a bug where if you removed it from your computer, it would delete every other file on it as well. Needless to say, that wasn't very good. Microsoft saw the trailer for Halo and acquired Bungie, looking for exclusives on their new console, the Xbox. Bungie changed the game to a first-person perspective, thinking it would better fit the explorative nature of the game. After dealing with the major upheaval of the entire US that was September 11th, Halo was finally released to the Xbox on November 15th, 2001. And instead of destroying people's computers or consoles, Halo Combat Evolved destroyed everyone's minds. In this video, I wanted to explain how Halo CE perfected the console shooter and led to the Halo revolution of the 2000s. And to begin our little retrospective, we need to talk about the control scheme. Before this game came out, the console FPS control scheme was incredibly confusing and clunky. Though GoldenEye is a revolutionary title for the time, using an N64 controller literally requires a third arm. Halo CE's control scheme is revolutionary for console shooters. Halo's control method was movement being applied to the left stick and looking around being applied to the right. Running down the list. Look acceleration, making it so you wouldn't be spinning around and doing 360 no-scopes when aiming. Soft lock. When moving and looking at enemies, the game will lower the sensitivity, allowing for you to hit shots easier. Friction. The speed of aiming is lowered whenever an enemy is looked at with your crosshair. And lastly, bullet magnetism. Whenever your crosshair goes red, any bullets fired will go to the enemy, even if it might look like the bullet will have to take a 90-degree turn. Using melee and grenades are placed perfectly into the control scheme, and all the little details just add up to make this game so much fun. In summary, Halo Combat Evolved manages to nail the controls for a console FPS and make it feel logical, easy to use, and fun to play with. Describing all of the quirks of Halo CE's gameplay would take a while, and I probably wouldn't be able to do it justice. But I can try. Here's why the gameplay in Halo Combat Evolved is so fun and replayable. To me, it comes down to these three fundamentals that make playing any Halo campaign so amazing: sandbox, AI, and level design. There's definitely much more to it than that, but to me, those are the three most important things needed for great gameplay in a Halo campaign. The sandbox for CE is the smallest in the series, but it's also tight and well balanced. The assault rifle is capable of getting rid of cannon fodder fairly quickly at closer ranges. The plasma rifle and plasma pistol are able to efficiently get rid of shields, but can't do much damage to flesh. The needler is powerful, but the projectiles are slow and easy to dodge. Though the shotgun is powerful in closer ranges, it is weaker in the medium to longer ranges. And the rocket launcher is able to destroy vehicles and has a big explosion, but have low ammo counts, and certain vehicles can dodge them if you don't shoot accurately. And lastly, the sniper. It has long range and is incredibly powerful, but has a lack of aim assist. Another thing about the sandbox is grenades. Both plasma and regular grenades have their uses. Plasma grenades are able to stick to enemies for a free kill, but you need to aim your grenade to stick it to the target, and their explosive range isn't very big. Regular grenades are different. Though not sticking to enemies, they're able to remove a massive group of grunts or jackals from the fight. And power-ups are another tool, the two in this game being active camo and overshield. The camo turns you mostly invisible and allows for free kills, if you're careful. The overshield allows you to be tankier and take more hits, but the extra shield drains over time. All of the weapons and power-ups are perfectly balanced, and there's no weapon or item that overshadows all the others. Who put that there? Who put that there? Okay, fine. I have to address the massive in the room. The God Pistol is just incredibly broken. It shoots fast, deals massive damage to flesh, and does this. Yeah. The pistol one-shots what's supposed to be the mini-boss of the Halo series. Vehicles are another part of the sandbox that allow the player to put power over their environment. Warthogs are big vehicles able to carry 4 people in them and has a turret that can shoot fast and deal lots of damage. Banshees take control of the air and are incredibly powerful. They have both powerful but slow projectiles with 2 methods of fire. The Ghost is a small one-person vehicle that goes fast and deals medium damage. The Scorpion is a big target, slow-moving but incredibly powerful tank that can destroy enemy vehicles with the main cannon, while also being able to get rid of cannon fodder with the minigun as its alternate fire. The Scorpion's rival is the Wraith, an incredibly powerful tank that keeps the player on their toes and moving due to their slow but incredibly powerful projectiles. And something that's pretty funny about the vehicles in this is, if you can move a vehicle a single inch and it pokes someone, they will die, no matter what. They're gonna be dead. They're gone. Other quirks with the physics engine include grenade launching, which allow the player to launch vehicles or turrets massive distances. Grenade jumping is the act of throwing a grenade at your feet and timing a jump to gain extra height. These quirky parts of the physics are incredibly fun to pull off and help give the game its charm. Oh shit! I died as well.
Okay.
Let's try that again.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh my god! Bro, that warthog went so far.
Where is it?
It reached at the top. You know where the bridge is? It hit off of that. That's how high it went.
It's not respawning me. It says you're in combat.
Combat evolve. In Halo CE are super fun to fight against. The grunts, being cannon fodder, easy to fight against, but can definitely kill you if they have enough numbers. They'll run away in fear if their leaders are killed, and throwing a plasma grenade onto them will make them panic and can lead to the death of multiple enemies. Overall, grunts are easy to take down but can still kill you. Jackals come in sizable numbers and are definitely weak, but when killing them you have to be precise with your shots. Or you can melee them. Elites are equals, they are cunning and will try to outsmart you. They can take a lot of damage and are the most powerful enemy to face against in the Covenant. They can dodge grenades and are able to melee you in close ranges for major damage, if not dodged. Hunters are incredibly strong. They are supposed to be the mini-bosses of the Halo games. They have incredibly powerful projectiles that are slow, and they have incredibly powerful melee attacks, though they are predictable and slow, and they are incredibly tanky. The Flood seen later in the game are enemies that will swarm you in numbers, but are incredibly fragile when using human weapons. They can have either human or Covenant weapons, and these rocket launcher Floods are a piece of shit. And these rocket launcher Floods are super hard to fight against due to the fact they carry one of the most powerful weapons in the game. What's fun about the enemies is that outsmarting them takes skill and is incredibly fun to do. It takes precision and smart methodical thinking to win fights, which help create a fun game. The level and environment design is interesting in this game because areas like this are big and grand. They allow for multiple ways of approaching the enemy. And certain parts of levels could be corridors, which may only have one path, but make enemies in one small spot, which does make grenades easier to use. All of the levels have no barriers, allowing for the player to go almost anywhere. With grenade launching, the player can go everywhere. People like Mint Blitz have taken all of the main Halo games to their limits. The environments are expansive, fun to fight in with an exception to the stability test that was the library. And though level design could get repetitive at certain points, they are still replayable and incredibly immersive. In summary, the combination of the sandbox, enemy AI, and level design all create these specific situations where only one weapon may be better than the other. With an exception to the Magnum. When playing on Legendary difficulty, Halo Combat Evolved is the most balanced Halo campaign. Enemies do the perfect amount of damage, and all weapons are effective and viable. There's enough ammo for most fights, something that Halo 4 completely fucked up. Halo CE's gameplay is nearly perfect, and it's absolutely the best part of the game. Though Halo CE's graphics are outdated due to its release in 2001, it still has an art style that's iconic and holds up to this day. All of the original Bungie Halo games do. All of the character designs are simple but incredibly memorable. And one more thing about the art style that's great is that all the enemies will stand out in the environment. All of the red and blue elites, grunts, and jackals are visible and clear to see. Unlike Halo CE Anniversary, where you are immediately at a disadvantage since enemies blend into the environments a lot more. As well as the really ugly brownish orange filter and art style changes. Another thing I really enjoyed about Halo Combat Evolved was how memorable or funny the dialogue could be. The sound effects for the human weapons are beefy and powerful. The sound effects for the Covenant weapons feel futuristic. And the Needler is such a unique sounding weapon. The voices for the grunts performed by Joseph Staten fit their character, wimps that only care for their own lives, and bugs that I can squeeze with my boot.
You want some of this? Come on! Yeah, come on, bring it! I'll bite your kneecaps off!
The elites just sound alien. And if you didn't know, the elite's iconic wart 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 is Sergeant Johnson's line of go 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 in reverse. The player can recognize each enemy by their voices due to how unique they are, and the weapons help make the weapon fun to use. Because if the assault rifle sounded like this, then half the fun would be taken away. Okay, that actually might make it more fun. The Master Chief is one of the most iconic video game characters of all time, not only due to the success of the Halo franchise, but also because of the fact that you play the game in his shoes. Since he doesn't really have much of a personality, nor does he speak often, it allows for the player to connect with the character a lot more. In short, the Chief is the player in a way. When Cortana speaks to the Chief, and he doesn't respond, Cortana is subtly talking to you. When the Marines cheer on the Chief and say, "Nice shot," or let you take their seat, they're subtly talking to you. It's something only games are able to do, but it's immersive and it makes the player feel important. The Master Chief is just a phenomenal protagonist, who not only is a badass, but also helps the player immerse themselves into the world. And Steve Downes gives an excellent performance for the character, with a stoic and strong vocal delivery. But in the iconic meter, he still can't beat Donkey Kong. Even though Master Chief is only known as the Halo Man to the 7-year-olds that still play Fortnite, I think he's an amazing character. Not to mention the other characters, Cortana, Captain Keyes, Sergeant Johnson. All of these characters were born from this game, and all have their own personalities and badass moments. Cortana is incredibly spunky, Captain Keyes is incredibly determined, Sergeant Johnson is just the comic relief of the entire Halo franchise, and 343 Guilty Spark gives us a view of the ancient past of the Halo universe. Though Halo CE's characters aren't 10 out of 10 excellent, they are fun to watch, their performances are solid and great, and they fulfill the purpose of introducing the player to the Halo universe. Halo Combat Evolved's plot details the Pillar of Autumn, captained by Jacob Keyes. While being chased by a Covenant fleet, the ship discovers a Halo ring. Weapons created by the Forerunners, the formerly dominant and thriving species from thousands of years in the past. When the Covenant start boarding the ship, the Master Chief is awakened and taken out of his cryosleep. The Chief is given a weapon and manages to get on an escape pod. The life pods drop onto the ring, but in his pod, the Chief is the only survivor. He steps out, and so the adventure starts. After regrouping with the passengers and freeing Captain Keyes from capture on a Covenant ship, Cortana learns that the Halo rings are significant to the religious Covenant. Halo 2 would elaborate more on why they see these rings as significant. Keyes then gets John 117 to find the silent cartographer and prevent the Covenant from getting to the control room, as Captain Keyes attempts to find a weapons cache for more supplies. The Chief and Cortana assault the area and get to the control room. Cortana then enters the ring systems and finds out that the Forerunners created the rings, a species that the Covenant consider gods. But Cortana also finds something else, and she tells the Chief that they have to stop Captain Keyes from getting to the weapons cache. The Chief goes to his last location, a dreary and dark swamp. Going near the facility, the Chief sees that the Covenant are running away, and that a battle seemingly already happened here. This part of the campaign is so well done due to its tension. The player doesn't know what even happened here, nor do they know what happened to the Forerunners. They're both mysteries that get the player thinking and really invested in the world. The answer is revealed when the Chief finds a recording of a Marine in Sergeant Johnson's team as they enter a facility. And this is what happened.
What's going on, soldier?
He's got contact! Blast them! But they're not Covenant! They're just tearing through him! What the... Oh, no!
Corporal, do you copy? Over! Mendoza, get your ass back up to second squat's position and find out what the hell is going on. But I don't have time for your lip, soldier. I gave you an order.
Listen.
What is that? Where's that coming from, Mendoza?
I don't... There! Get out!
Hold still! Hold still! Let him have it! Sergeant, we're surrounded. God damn it, Jenkins! Fire your weapon!
There are too many, Sarge!
Don't even think about it, Marine.
Listen, Rocco!
Get back here, Marine! That's an order! Jenkins!
The Flood is a parasitic species that is completely fucked up. When infected, the body mutates and contorts as the host's bones shatter and their body parts morph before being broken down mentally and becoming a part of the Flood. This parasite was the cause of the Forerunners' extinction and the reason why they built the Halo rings. As the Chief escapes, 343 Guilty Spark appears, and as the Monitor of the Rings activates Halo's defenses, and tells the Chief that to get rid of the Flood, he'll need the activation index. After going through hell, aka the library, and dealing with this piece of shit, John 117 gets the index and arrives at the control room. But before he can activate the ring, Cortana interrupts him and tells him that the rings were designed to kill the Flood by getting rid of the Flood's food source. That being all sentient life in the galaxy. So Chief almost just pushed the button that destroyed all life. Guilty Spark isn't happy that they aren't going to activate the rings, and both the Chief and Cortana escape. They sabotage the ring's 3 generators that power the superweapon, and they locate Captain Keyes, to find him succumb to the Flood's infection. The Spartan 2 takes the Captain's neural implants that allow him to operate the Pillar of Autumn. The both of them reach the crashed ship and set off the engine to explode, and then commences the Warthog run. After driving a Warthog straight through many enemies, through a bunch of explosions, and in a bombastic and incredibly engaging conclusion, the Chief and Cortana manage to escape the ring. And as the Chief takes off his helmet, he claims that the adventure has only begun. The plot for Halo CE isn't the best thing ever. I don't have as much to say about it as the other games. But the story is still engaging, memorable, and a great introduction to the Halo universe. It has mystery, tension, and intrigue. It's a solid story, but not much else. It has themes of discovery, how finding some things can lead to death, but also change our lives forever. The Flood being an example of how these discoveries can lead to misery, and the rings leading to conflict, but also the realization of what happened in their universe many years ago. Halo came out during a time when console shooters hadn't been perfected yet, when they didn't have controls that felt easy and smooth to use. And it came out during a time when Sony had dominated the gaming market with the PS2. It's when Microsoft was at their most competitive. It's when they knew that they needed something that stood out from the crowd for people to buy their console with similar hardware. Even though Microsoft had so many other exclusives, Oblivion, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, Jet Set Future, Psychonauts, and so many others, but Halo stood out, and it was the biggest exclusive by far. And the only reason Xbox is relevant today is because of Halo. I remember when I made that Halo Reach video, and I claimed that that game was Bungie's masterwork. I made a lot of mistakes in that video, but But to me, that was the biggest one by far. Because playing through Halo Combat Evolved again gives me life. And it shows me just how wrong I was. I look at it now knowing that the characters were solid, the performances were phenomenal, the gameplay is balanced, tight, and amazing. And I can certainly say with confidence, Halo Combat Evolved is Bungie's masterpiece, and I don't think it will ever be replicated.